Thanks, Adrian. Afternoon, everyone. These two teams collected plaudits but no points in their opening games, and now it is time to deliver. For Georgia, history beckons. This is their first major tournament, and so a victory would see this team achieve sporting immortality. For Czechia, the expectations are higher. They reached the last 8 of Euro 2020, the last 4 of Euro 2004, and the final of Euro 96. They have a rich history in this competition. Let me give you a brief reminder of the team news. Georgia with just the one change from the side that lost to Turkey. Georgi Chakvetadze drops out. Zuriko Davitashvili drafted in. So it's Georgi Mamadashvili in goal. Solomon Kverkvelia, Huram Kashia and Lasha Tavali the back three. Otar Kakabadze, Georgi Kocharashvili, Anzor Mekvabishvili and Zuriko Davitashvili with Georgi Sitaishvili the midfield five, and the front two, George Mikotadze and the star man Kavica Kvaratskhelia. 3 changes for the Czechs. They brought in Václav Černý and Adam Plojek into what is a front three, with David Jurasek coming in on the left-hand side. So they've got Jindřich Staniak in goal, Tomáš Holeš, Robin Hranac and Ladislav Krejci as the back three. David Jurasek down the left, Vladimír Soufal of West Ham down the right. His club mate Tomáš Souček in the middle with Lukáš Provod, and the front three, Adam Plojek, Patrick Schick and Václav Černý. Bright sunshine in northern Germany, in Hamburg. Georgia ready to kick us off. Red shirts, black shorts. Czechia all in white, attacking the goal away to the right. Georgia and Czechia know they really do need to avoid defeat, and having lost their opening games, it's one they really need to win. And on the attack straight away, Georgia, the cross from Sitaishvili from the left-hand side, blocked by Czechia. And Georgia looking to be on the front foot, forward by Tavali, the big centre-back towards the edge of the area. He was looking for Mikotadze, but Czechia are able to clear up the right-hand side. Černý lost it though. And here come Georgia again. It was a high-octane clash in Dortmund between Georgia and Turkey, but Georgia lost 3-1. And Alvin Martin, the former England defender, alongside me. Georgia have started well.
Well, very positive. You know, it just shows, doesn't it, right from the kick-off, a team can just take the bull by the horns and say, OK, we're coming at you. And I think it's been a little bit of a surprise to Czechia.
And here they come again, Georgia trying to surge into the area. It's the attacking left wing-back, Georgi Sitaishvili, surging in there from a footballing family. Sitaishvili, his father made his Georgian league debut at the age of 14. And his son's doing pretty well, shining on the Euro 2024 stage, but it's Czechia who have possession. They also lost their opening game in dramatic circumstances. They led in the second half against Portugal, but conceded an own goal to make it 1-1 in the 69th minute, and then lost it in stoppage time as Francisco Conceição was able to give Portugal 3 points. We're in the second minute on TalkSport. Georgia 0, Czechia 0. Every kick of Euro 2024 coming your way on the TalkSport network. Long ball down the right-hand side by Czechia, looking for Adam Plojek, who's one of the 3 players who's been brought in by the coach Ivan Hasek. And there have been suggestions that he actually planned those changes before the tournament even started. Wanted a different setup for this game. Throwing down the right for Czechia. Long throw by Soufal into the penalty area. Bounces to the far post, and the low shot is blocked by the goalkeeper. And then on the rebound, the goalkeeper's called into action again. A shot that bounced into the floor. And Mamadashvili with a fine double save, denying Plojek initially, and he punches it behind for a corner. Mamadashvili starring there in goal not once but twice.
Yeah, he's a big presence in the goal, isn't he? And he had to use all of that frame. First save with his legs, the second one a reflex save which he punched up into the air. But this is going to be a threat, a constant threat for them today. Set pieces are so well rehearsed on this stretcher.
It was Plojek with the first effort, saved by the legs of Mamadashvili. The second, Patrick Schick's effort. Here comes the corner from the right-hand side towards the far post. Excellent header away by Huram Kashia, the captain of Georgia. It's played back in from the left-hand side, and the header from Schick is pushed away by Mamardashvili as he plunges to his right. He's working overtime at the moment, the Georgian goalkeeper. But here comes Georgia down the inside right channel, surging into the Czechia half, and the foul by Lukáš Provod. It was on Davitashvili, and that's going to be a free kick to Georgia.
Bright start though, Kevin. You know, it looks like we've got a game in our hands here. Hopefully it carries on like that. Really come out of the blocks really quickly, didn't they, Georgia? But now they're Czechia have settled down. They've got the ball into good areas. They've already tested the keeper on 2 or 3 occasions here. But when the ball broke down and the ball was turned over, they really do go for it, Georgia.
Bit of space here on the edge of the Czechia area for Davitashvili as he tries to surge into the box, and Czechia all hands to the pump, having to help that behind for a Georgia corner. Breathless 4 minutes in Hamburg. Georgia 0, Czechia 0 on TalkSport.
I think you can safely say that they're both out to win this game, Kevin.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption.
No one's playing for a draw in this game.
Corner kick from the left-hand side, the near side as we look at it. Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, Kvaradona as he's been dubbed by Napoli fans. Played in by Kvaratskhelia, fisted away by Staniek, the goalkeeper for Czechia, who made 7 saves against Portugal, but was beaten twice and was probably at fault for that equalising goal as he pushed the ball onto his own teammate Robin Vranac. Czechia have it in their own defensive third. Černý works it to the right hand side, the near side as we look at it, and Czechia looking to build from the back. Went into this tournament with a 5-game winning streak. Czechia, they've only lost 2 of the last 15 internationals, and they were competitive against Portugal a few days ago. Here is their goal scorer from that game, Lukáš Provod, who missed Euro 2020 with injury, so he's making up for lost time. Lovely day in northern Germany. Sun is shining strongly. Patch of shade on the far side, and Jurasek is in that now, fed by Krejci. Played forward down that far side to left by Czechia, easily headed away by Kvelia. And now David Jurasek, one of the 3 players brought into the lineup, runs down a blind alley, and Georgia are able to dispossess him. Georgia did have a double injury scare ahead of the game. Their 2 most effective attacking players, George Mikotadze and Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, both slightly injured in the warm-up, needed the magic spray. Mikotadze was actually caught by one of his own players in a rondo. Here comes Czechia with a throw down the left. It's flicked on, but not very far, by Vranac, and Georgia able to clear, and this is what they'll look to do. They'll look to counter-attack at pace, and Sitashvili has it, charging down the left-hand side. Midway inside the Czechia half, goes on the outside, onto his favoured left foot, but he was doubled up on there by Souček and Černý, and it is Souček who's able to win it, and he does that so very well, covers the ground in midfield. West Ham fans know all about that. Here comes Czechia down the right, lovely play from out to in as they find Provod in the centre circle. He's got Schick down the centre and Hložek too, but he works it to the left-hand side instead for the Benfica left wing-back, David Jurasek, on loan at Hoffenheim this season. Now they're working to Schick. Little lay-off to Hložek, his Leverkusen teammate. As it goes again to the left-hand side. Bit of an overload here, but the cross is charged down by Kakabadze. And Czechia just looking for a bit of controlled possession here in the 7th minute. Georgia 0, Czechia 0. Booming cross from the left-hand side by Czechia, but it's too long. It'll be collected by Sofal, who's got Sitashvili for company. Goes on the outside on his right foot. Curling cross, brilliantly headed away by Kasia. Comes out to Černý, nice turn on the edge of the area. Right foot shot, and it hit Dybali. What did it hit? The referee, Daniel Ziebert, suggests it with his chest.
There was a pattern of play already forming here, Kevin. I think you can see that it's going to be Czechia who have possibly the lion's share of possession. Good areas, will get the ball more direct into the front, but do have vast experience at this level. But whenever the ball's turned over, Georgia, as we just seen, they will commit people forward, and they do it really well with a lot of intelligence and a lot of pace.
The voice of the former England defender Alvin Martin alongside Kevin Hatchard for this one. Coming up later on the TalkSport network, Turkey against Portugal. That's a 5 o'clock kick-off with Adam Bridge and the former England striker Dean Ashton. And then Belgium against Romania at 8 with Nigel Adderley And the former Chelsea defender Scott Minto. High hanging ball into the Georgian penalty area. Only half away. Schick with the left foot shot. Charged down by two Georgian defenders. Follow-up cross from the left, and that tucked away brilliantly at full stretch by Kvekvelia. And they are under serious pressure here, Georgia. Czechia looking to work it wide, and Jurasek so dangerous with those left-footed deliveries. It was a feature of what he was doing in the Bundesliga this season with Hoffenheim. It's one of the reasons he's been brought in today for those deliveries from the left. It'll be Sofal with another long throw towards the penalty spot. Away by Kasia, only as far as Provod. 30 yards from goal, dead centre. Now Jurasek's cross, that's headed away by Kasia again. He's been excellent in the opening exchanges here. So solid defensively. And now Kvaratskhelia on the charge for Georgia. Down the near side, the left. Has to check under pressure from Holesh. And he goes back into his own half.
Well, Kvaratskhelia on this left-hand side for Georgia. He's a talisman. He's a quality. He's a goal every other game at international level, which is really up there with the big guys. But you know what? It's not just about the talent he's got. He is a team player. He's always constantly tracking back, picking the ball up on the edge of his box. He thinks nothing of running 40-50 yards with the ball at his feet. He's a tremendous player.
He's one of the key men for Napoli as they won the Scudetto a couple of seasons ago. Now there's space for Georgia, surging into the penalty area. Is that a penalty? No, says the referee. Certainly Czechia were in trouble there. It was a surging run down the right-hand side by Davitashvili. He's still down. Georgian fans booing. They're not happy that a penalty wasn't awarded there. But Daniel Ziebert decisive and adamant that there should be no spot kick. But they got in behind there, Georgia. And Czechia were at full stretch, but now Czechia in their white shirts on the attack down the left-hand side. They've played a lot down this left touchline so far. 10 minutes gone, Georgia 0, Czechia 0, but they've given it up, Czechia. Georgia able to win it with Kocharashvili, who was so good against Turkey in defeat the other day. And Alvin Martin, what did you make of that?
This is a penalty for me. I've seen a replay of it I think that's a penalty. He's holding on to him. He's cut across him, he's inside the penalty area, and he takes him down. He's got to, as a defender, once he's the other side of him, has got to let him go. And some people might see that as minimum contact, but I see myself in the position that the defender was, and I would have done exactly the same thing probably, but he's got away with it there.
It was Ladislav Krejci who was trying to keep up with Davitashvili. There was a bit of holding and he leant into him, and it was his body weight that sent Davitashvili, the Bordeaux player, to the floor. But 8 goals for Bordeaux in the second tier of French football this season, and he's been lively so far. Talking of lively, here is Kvaratskhelia down the left-hand side, low ball to the edge of the box towards Kocharashvili, but it was swept away by Czechia, and this game is swinging this way and that in the opening 11 minutes, but it remains goalless in Hamburg. Georgia 0, Czechia 0 on TalkSport. Every kick of the tournament heading your way across the TalkSport network. Tomorrow we'll find out if Scotland can finally make the knockout phase of a major tournament. They face Hungary. Joe Shannon and the former Scotland striker Chris Owelamo on the mic for that one. And myself and Alvin will be together again for Switzerland against Germany. Germany looking to make sure they win the group. Picture perfect so far, the host nation. Long ball by Czechia towards Patrick Schick. Plays his football in Germany for Bayer Leverkusen. Won an unbeaten domestic double under Xabi Alonso this season. But Czechia struggling really to make too many inroads, and Georgia have defended very solidly, but Provod has just been brought down in midfield by Mekvabishvili.
There knows that's about it. The Georgian goalkeeper has been the busier of the two goalkeepers, but they've defended really well in front of him. That back four as it is for Georgia, sometimes it can be a back five, but whenever the ball's turned over, the amount of bodies they get forward is really a problem for Czechia, so they know that they've got a game on here.
Shot from long range by Provod, which was deflected up in the air and looping towards the Georgian goal. Mamadashvili watched it into his gloves. He's a rising star of Georgian football. Georgi Mamadashvili plays his football in Spain with Valencia, seen as one of La Liga's top keepers. He's been linked with Bayern, he's been linked with a number of Premier League clubs. He was ever present in the qualifying campaign. His heroics important in that penalty shootout win over Greece in the playoff final, which took them to their first ever major tournament. Country with a population of just 3.7 million, the team lowest ranked at these finals. But Georgia going toe-to-toe with some much fancied teams. They gave Turkey a real scare in that second half in Dortmund before losing 3-1.
This is where they're very good. You know, they get the ball into the wide areas, as you said, crossed a lot of balls in there. They've just done again. They are now sort of just lying a little bit too deep, Georgia. But it's not just that. You know, they can get the ball down and play Czechia. The other thing that they do is get both fullbacks really in advanced areas, and even a throw-in on the right-hand side. You know, Sufal is somebody that is launching it as you would do a corner, Kevin. He's getting it into near the penalty spot, and they're really good at attacking that and looking for second ball. Up to now, they've defended it really well, Georgia, but you wouldn't back against, you know, Czechia getting something from that sort of situation.
Czechia have won themselves a corner kick on the far side, the left, from exactly what Alvin was talking about, getting that ball wide. Is Cherny's corner, curling ball towards the near post, but Georgia again excellent with their aerial defending. It's back out now to Cherny on the left-hand side. They were queuing up at the far post, and a high hanging header that was dropping towards the far post, and Mamadashvili took no chances and punched it behind for another corner.
5 white shirts in there, all looking for the second ball. Good ball into the far post. It's not down into the danger zone, and he's there mainly, Souček, but there's 5 white shirts all looking to gain from that.
So another opportunity here. Cherny's corner, it's a lower one this time towards Krejci at the near post. Back out to Cherny, left edge of the area, low ball cut back, and it just got away there from Souček at the near post, who screams at the heavens, frustrated, and it dribbles behind for a goal kick. You're listening to Euro Game Day Live on TalkSport, presented by Burger King. Bring home the ultimate food satisfaction. Get your favourites delivered now. Czechia finished second in their qualifying section. They were behind Albania on goal difference. It actually went down to the final game at home to Moldova. If Moldova had won that, they would have qualified instead, but Czechia delivered when it mattered and ended up winning by 3-0. Bit of space on the right hand side here for Kakabadze as Georgia work it through that far touchline as we look at it. 0-0 with nearly 16 minutes gone in Hamburg. Georgia 0, Czechia 0. Play it low, Georgia towards the edge of the Czechia area. What does Georgia need to do to fashion a few more clear-cut chances?
I think, look, the game plan that they've set out is to defend really well when they have to, and they will have to, because you know, Czechia will get the ball into really dangerous areas. It's about not switching off, attacking every ball, and expecting it to knock down into a dangerous area and looking at getting onto the second ball. They've done that perfectly in the first 16 minutes, so you are going to have to do that against this team. But the other thing is not to lose the attacking threat that you've got. So, you know, defend really well, but not at the expense of not causing them a problem when they lose the ball, Czechia. And they've done that. You know, they know that if they lose the ball on the edge of the penalty area of the Georgian team, there's a payback, because they release people forward so quickly. And look, you can see both teams scoring at the moment. The more likely is certainly the Czechia team.
It's Flojek, who wasn't always a regular starter for Leverkusen this season. Booming delivery again from that left-hand side from Jurasek. It's been a real feature of what they've done so far. But Georgia, who are in essence a counter-attacking team, looking to do that once again. And we're going to see the first yellow card of the afternoon. It's shown to Vladimir Sofal, and he brought down Kvaratskhelia, and that's what Kvaratskhelia can do to defenders.
That was great skill by him, but I don't see why. It's a foul. It's a foul, Kevin, but why does it have to be a yellow card? You know, again, it's another referee getting a yellow card out in a game that doesn't be a tackle worth mentioning. But now, you know, the rest of the game is going to be affected by that decision. For the life of me, I don't know why a referee deems a yellow card worthy of that. You know, you're talking about people not playing in competitions. They should be, you know, an understanding that, you know, trivial fouls like that are not going to get bookings.
Bit of space here on this far side, the right for Georgia as they work it to Davitashvili, who's been a bit of a whirling dervish so far in the opening 18 minutes. He's been absolutely everywhere.
I tell you as well, we've talked about, how well they've done, and it's certainly been the busier of the two goalkeepers for Georgia, isn't he? But, they have had that penalty shout. I would have given it, if he just stayed on his feet maybe a little longer, he went down a little bit quickly. I think then the referee might have just changed his mind and thought there was something in it.
If a defender is willing to give a penalty against another member of the Defenders Union, we should listen. He certainly was struggling, Krejci, in that race with Davitashvili. 18 and a half minutes gone in Hamburg. It is 0-0 between Georgia and Czechia. Both teams lost their opening games of the tournament. Provod brought down now for a Czechia free kick. It's Georgia's first ever major tournament as an independent nation. They finished fourth in their qualifying section. They only won 2 of their 8 games, but because of their performances in the UEFA Nations League, they were given a playoff place. They beat Luxembourg in the semi-finals, and then that famous penalty shootout win in Tbilisi against Greece. It was 0-0. It was a tough watch, I have to say, but we had late drama with those penalties and a great story for Georgia at the end. Greece, of course, was so desperate to qualify on the 20th anniversary of them winning the competition back in 2004. Here is Robin Franac, who scored a very unfortunate own goal against Portugal. And now Sofal, nice little shift down the right hand side, the near side as we look at it for Czechia. Here's Schick, the number 10, works it to Cherny, shaven headed wide forwards, and now Provod. That's the left hand side, Jurasek with the cutback, and that's stabbed up into the air rather awkwardly, but it was a great piece of goalkeeping again by Mamadashvili, who's just hooked up in the air by Mekvabishvili. And Mamadashvili very, very commanding. He's been great so far.
Yeah, he has. So he looks like a real presence, doesn't he, in the back line there. But they've got to be a little bit better, because when they get into the wide areas and they're crossing balls, I think the people within the box have got to be more intelligent with the runs that they're making. I just watched that last one come in, and the man on the ball was crossing the ball from the left, and 3 Cheshire players are all in a line, and one ball misses every one of them out, so you need to be able to stagger it, have one going near, one dropping back for a cutback, and maybe one on the far post. But the man on the ball should have a variety of targets to hit, and they've got to think more about, when they're in them areas, creating that for the supplier. And then you're turning crosses that are being defended quite easily at the moment by Georgia into real goal scoring attempts.
You'd quite like to play against the way they're playing at the moment, wouldn't you? Because for the centre-backs, they've been winning those challenges and those headers.
Yeah, and like I said, the hopeful ball's being put in there at the moment, rather than a quality run and a pick-out.
Here's the imposing physical specimen that is Patrick Schick. Works it out to the right-hand side for Sofal. Curling cross to the far post, and a bit nervous that from Otar Kakabadze. Ended up miscuing, and the ball just dropped into the gloves of Mamadashvili. Czech fans screaming for that to be a back pass. It certainly was not.
He's got away with that one, hasn't he? He was lucky there was nobody in the vicinity. He didn't know what was behind him and panicked a little bit. The ball just sort of came off the inside of his thigh, I think, more than anything, and rolled aimlessly back to the keeper. But if there had been a Cheshire player in the vicinity, that could have been one of them that you have nightmares for years and years. That's the thing we mustn't forget. These players are playing in a big tournament for the country, and you make a massive mistake in a game that costs your country, it's not forgotten easily, Kevin.
You do not want to be that guy. Here is Provod making the charge down the right-hand side. Good defending, though, by the captain, Hudom Kasia, 36 now. The most capped Georgian international ever. This is game number 115 for him. Long throw by Sofal into the Georgian penalty area, and it's run loose, and it's bundled into the net by Adam Hložek. It is a messy, messy goal, but he won't care. It was just a simple ball into the area. It came loose. Hložek was alive to the possibilities. His initial effort was saved. It bounced off him and in. And it is Czechia who strike first. Georgia 0, Czechia 1.
Yeah, difficult to see who got the last touch on this, but as you said, a scrappy goal. I did say that there's a possibility it was going to come from a free kick delivery or a throw-in. This is a long throw that is more or less a corner. It's a good save initially, but it comes back and I think he does it. He does get the final touch on it, but they're a little unlucky here, Georgia. For once, the ball fell fortunately, didn't it, for the Czechia?
It's hit Hložek in the face and gone in, so it was flicked on towards him and he's volleyed it goalwards. Mamardashvili actually made an excellent save and spread himself well, but the ball then rebounded onto the face of Hložek and went in. They're just checking that there wasn't a handball.
It may have just touched his hand.
If it did, the goal will be ruled out, whether it's accidental or not. Hložek has a nervous wait now. If it stands, it'll be only his third ever international goal. It did. It did. It hit him on the face, and then on its way in, it's flicked his hand. So the referee gives the gesture that the goal will be ruled out. Handball against Adam Hložek, and Georgia have got away with one. So it hit him on the face, and then with the very final touch, an involuntary push of his hands, it flicked his fingers and went in, and Czechia's goal is ruled out for handball, but Georgia have to defend those long throws much better.
Well, they've had a little bit of good fortune here, but a little bit maybe unfortunate for the ball to bounce in the way of Czechia. But tell you what, I played for 20 years. 20 years without VAR, and could have got me away with a lot of goals scored against us, I tell you. They are fortunate there, Georgia, but there's a warning sign, and up to now they've dealt really well with that ball being thrown in, but that's all it takes. It's not so much the first ball that you don't win, it's where it bounces you've got to be alive.
The voice of the former England defender Alvin Martin there alongside Kevin Hatchard. For Georgia nil, Czechia nil. We're in the 25th minute, but Czechia have just had a goal ruled out for handball. Czechia had more shots on target inside the opening 8 minutes of this game than they managed across the whole of their game against Portugal. They have had some bright moments in attack, but Georgia looking a threat on the counter. They felt they should have had a penalty. It's been a very lively 25 minutes in Hamburg here on TalkSport. The first of 3 games today, all of them will be brought your way. Turkey against Portugal, a 5 o'clock kickoff. Space here down the left hand side for Schick. He's got Czerny with him. How did he not see him? Czerny was free on the far post, and Schick apologises. Suddenly it was 2-on-1, and Patrick Schick did not make best use of that for Czechia, and Czerny was left waiting.
Well, the break was on. I'll be honest with you, I was watching him, and I just don't think he could release the ball at the right time for Churchy. It was sort of on the wrong side, and they although they were 2 versus 2, they blocked that ball off really well, Georgia. Look, I tell you, this game is really quick, isn't it? What a pace to the game. No sign of fatigue here or tiredness.
Absolutely not. Ball swung out to the left-hand side for Sitaishvili. Always so willing to get forward from that left wing back role. Here's Kvaratskhelia in his favoured right foot. There was a roar around the stadium as Georgian fans thought he was about to let fly, but Czechia have touched the ball away from him, and now they can counter. This is breathtaking stuff in Hamburg. Czechia attacking down the left-hand side. Nice little drop of the shoulder by Provods. And here he is again, the number 14 for Czechia. As for Slavia Prague. And now left corner of the penalty area, it's Hložek. He's found Czerny. Back to Hložek, now Czerny. This is a lovely move by Czechia, and Czerny has made a real mess of it. It came to him in the 6-yard box, and he barely touched it. And Mamardashvili able to make a far easier save than he should have. I think it was going to be possibly an offside in the build-up anyway, and that spares the blushes of Václav Černý.
He wasn't to know that, was he? It was 2-1-2s he played inside the penalty area, and it fell onto his left foot. All he had to do was slide it in the bottom corner. But as you said, I think the second wall pass was to a player that was in an offside position.
He's still fouled at the cross from the right-hand side, headed away by Kasia. Kvaratskhelia out-jumped by Holesh as Czechia looked to stay on the attack, but a free kick goes Georgia's way. I was going to say that even I could have put that one away, but that would be a lie. That would be an outright lie. You'd have scored that.
Well, I don't know about my left foot, I wouldn't have, but no, it's a game that's to and fro, isn't it? And, no quarter asked, no quarter given as such. But look, it's got a look about it. Again, the game that I've seen them play against Turkey, they show no fear whatsoever, Georgia. They've been up against it for large proportion of the first 27 minutes, but they've been up to the task, and they're not intimidated by the fact that their goalkeeper has been by far the busier. They're still in this game very much.
Strong shoulder charge from Projek. Left wing coming in his right foot shot straight at Mamadashvili. It's a bit of a shooting gallery at the moment. Mamadashvili has been far more consistently involved than Georgia would like, but the goalkeeper just padded that down into the floor and took it at the second attempt. But Adam Projek, who, as I say, wasn't always a regular starter for Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso this season, has been brought into the lineup today, and he looks very bright indeed.
He started on that left and then got it onto his right foot, and he was, I'd say, 5 yards outside the edge of the box. He struck it really well, but sometimes I think you can strike it too well. Because he struck it well, there was no movement on it, went straight at the keeper.
He's been seen as the bright young thing in Czech football for quite some time. He made 4 sub-appearances at Euro 2020, which of course was 3 years ago. It was a year later than first expected, but he's still only 21. Adam Projek, he's had the ball in the net already, but it was rightly ruled out for handball. Here come Georgia on the counter. This is what they're looking to do. Kvaratskhelia on the charge, but the ball was headed away from him by big Tomáš Holeš. Once scored against Arsenal in a Europa League game, Holeš. He's been a regular part of this Czech rearguard. He played all 5 games at Euro 2020. Solid defender. Plays his football in Czechia for Slavia Prague. Georgia now with a bit of possession. Haven't often seen that. They've been happy to sit and counter. Of all the teams that qualified for Euro 2024, they are the team with the lowest average possession. But they did it effectively against Turkey, and at times they've done it effectively.
Look,
here.
and there's a plan here. You can see they're trying to keep the ball now. They've been under a lot of pressure. The amount of defending they have to do in the first 30 minutes is quite substantial. But they're showing a degree of intelligence here. Right, okay, let's keep the ball as well as we can for the next 5 minutes. Take this thing out of the game, and then we'll go again. And Czechia have got a decision to make. Do we squeeze? Do we start pressing and take chances? And if they beat the press, then obviously it's a problem going back the other way. But at this moment in time, I can still see a great game of football here, Kevin. It's still anyone's game. Although at the moment, the betting man would definitely go with Czechia. And Georgia have shown enough to show us that they've got a goal in them.
And there is that element of jeopardy. Of course, it's so important for these two teams to avoid defeat today, because if either of them lose, they could be eliminated by the end of the day, depending on what happens in that game between Turkey and Portugal. 5 o'clock kickoff coming up live on TalkSport. 8 o'clock tonight, by the way, it's Belgium against Romania. Belgium looking to bounce back after losing their opening game against Slovakia. And tomorrow night at 8, Scotland's final group game against Hungary, a game they have to win. We'll have live coverage of that, as well as Switzerland against the hosts Germany. Scotland on TalkSport, Germany on TalkSport 2. Played forward by Sofal from the right back area for Czechia. Now it's up towards Schick, who's so strong in the air, nods it down. It comes now for the shaven-headed Czerny wearing number 17. He moves into the Georgian half, into a central area, and then Kocherashvili does brilliantly to pick his pocket. Czerny just did not see him coming, and Kocherashvili, who's caught the eye playing for Levante in the second tier in Spain, able to win possession, and here he is now with his long hair tied back, rolls it out to the left-hand side for Sitashvili, and just in the last few minutes Georgia have just put their foot on the brake and said, okay, we don't want to be running constantly in this Hamburg heat.
Well, I think that's in-game management, Kevin. There's times when you think, okay, well, we've had to put a lot of their defensive energy into the last 15 minutes of the game, and now you think, okay, at 0-0, 30 minutes, half an hour gone, let's just settle it down, regroup, and then we'll go again. So there's an intelligence about the way they're game managing this.
There's Kocherashvili, left to turn in midfield, just trying to draw Czechia towards him and pass through that wave of pressure. But Georgia were forced back there with Kvaratskhelia. 60th cap for Solomon Kvaratskhelia today. plays his football in Saudi Arabia with Alok Dood. Here is Kvaratskhelia chinking in field from the inside left channel in a central area now, turns back out onto his left foot. Now he finds Sitaishvili, curling cross which was deflected, flicked on, it's loose, edge of the area. Davitashvili, can he get a shot away? He can't. It breaks to the edge of the box, and rather unconvincing effort from Kakabadze on his weaker left foot. Never really looked convincing there. He's only scored twice at club level, Kakabadze, and he's never scored for his country. And this is cap number 63. Here come Czechia through the middle, but a free kick is awarded against them. You're listening to Euro Game Day live on TalkSport, presented by Carling, the UK's #1 lager, 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. It was Souček who was battling away in midfield, had that decision given against him. They've just shown on our commentary monitors, by the way, the snickometer that UEFA have brought in for this tournament. Big fan of that, Alvin?
Not really.
I thought that might be the case. Fine run here by Davitashvili, but down a blind alley in the end. But he's been really, really energetic for Georgia so far. The number 9 has been brought into their team in the only change. He came in for Watford's Georgi Chakvetadze, and he has sparked some of their brightest moments. Here's Kocharashvili finding Kvaratskhelia 30 yards out, dead centre. Moves onto his right foot, slides it into the penalty area. Kvabashvili, low ball in, and smuggled behind rather unconvincingly by Sofal. That could have been Czechia's second own goal of the tournament. It's a corner.
Well, I think Georgia have certainly become my favourite dark horse, or my favourite team in the tournament. You know, it's the first ever tournament. They show so much endeavour and heart. You know, they've been under the cosh here for the majority of this first half, but they're still there, they're still standing, they're still fighting. And they are having a really good little spell here. 5 minutes, they've started to play their way back into the game, and that was really good football there, really good football.
Former England defender Alvin Martin alongside Kevin Hatchard here on TalkSport. Here comes the corner from the right-hand side, but the referee not happy with a bit of pushing and shoving here at the near post. 10 minutes of normal time to go in this first half. Georgia 0, Czechia 0. Czechia have tested the Georgian goalkeeper Mamadashvili on a number of occasions. They've had the ball in the net, but that goal was ruled out for handball. And now it's Georgia who have a corner. Sitaishvili with his tattooed left arm plays it in towards the near post, headed away by Schick. Back out to Sitaishvili. And now it's drifted into the penalty area. Strong header away by Holesh. That was excellent from him. And now Kasia trying to keep it alive, and that was a real lunge from the Georgian captain, and gets the yellow cards.
Why?
And Alvin Martin does not agree.
Why? It's a foul. Don't get the card out, you don't need to. He's more or less pulling his foot back, you know, before he makes any contact. It's crazy that referee, and he's right there, he's five yards away from you, Kevin. You know, both yellow cards, leave them in your pocket.
But Kasia given the yellow cards. Most capped Georgian international, 8 seasons in the Netherlands with Vitesse. Currently plays with Slovan Bratislava. And he's been a staunch defender of gay rights. When he was at Vitesse, he wore a rainbow armband to support the Netherlands Coming Out Day, and that sparked furious protests in Georgia. Here come Czechia towards the edge of the Georgian penalty area. Georgia able to smuggle it away. Should just say Kasia was given lots of support in Georgia in the end, from politicians, media, for players in his squad. And he is seen as a real leader, and he was given a special award by UEFA. And Georgia, once again, when Czechia were threatening on the edge of their area, able to clear and able to win a free kick on the counter. They've done that so intelligently.
Yeah. See that free kick that's given away against Czechia there, it's a foul, but why hasn't he got a card out for that? I can't differentiate between why he gets a card out and why he doesn't. It's crazy.
You do set yourself up, don't you, if you give those early yellow cards?
Right. You know, but it's exactly the same foul, more or less the same foul.
It's easier not to try and understand, Alvin. I found that a lot less stressful. in this job. Here's Kakabadze down the right-hand side under pressure from Jurasek, and he worked it infield, and Davitashvili again trying to charge into the area, but he overran that one, and the ball goes through to Jindřich Staněk, who's been a lot quieter today than he was in the opening game against Portugal. But it remains 0-0 with 38 minutes gone here on TalkSport, the first of 3 games on this Super Saturday. Turkey and Portugal, and Belgium and Romania still to come. Georgia will be pretty happy with what's happened so far.
Look, they've been extended, to say the least, and you've got to give credit to Czechia for that. They've come out with a game plan. They put them under real pressure. They played the majority of their football in the Georgian half. The Georgian keeper has made two or three good saves. They've had a let-off really with the handball, but it was a no-brainer. That one was easy enough. Got away with maybe a penalty, I think. Czechia, I would have certainly liked to have a second look at that, and I think that the defender knew what he was doing. But look, I think it's been a really good game of football, enterprise, and both teams playing to their strengths. And again, the tempo of the game been really quick. 39 minutes gone, and I think another card getting taken out there. I mean, that's the worry for me now, is that during the 90 minutes of this game, Kevin, we're going to see a sending off, and this game does not warrant a sending off. That again is a foul, but nothing malicious. And because he's had to get cards out now, I wouldn't back against 7, 8, 9 cards and maybe a red, and no one is going to convince me that it's been that sort of game.
It's Lukasz Provod who was shown the yellow card for the foul on Mikotadze, and his coach Ivan Hasek was wide-eyed at that decision, couldn't believe it. Hasek wasn't actually involved in qualifying. He was drafted in after his predecessor Jaroslav Shilavi stepped down after sealing the country's place at these finals. Here is Sitaichvili for Georgia down the left, plays it into the area. Mikotadze trying to twist and turn and get a shot away just inside the Czechia box, but it's cleared by Czechia. Here comes Kvaratskhelia though down the left for Georgia. He's always involved, he's always trying to make something happen for Georgia, and he's won a corner on this near side, the left.
A lovely balance over the ball, Kevin. He's playing on this left hand side. He likes to quit it onto his stronger right foot. He reminds me of Mahrez, when he was at Leicester Man City.
Here comes the corner from Kvaratskhelia, tried to flick it on at the near post there, Davitashvili. It's going to be another corner. There is a wonderful languid style about Kvaratskhelia, something a bit old school about him, a real wing wizard. Does play a bit more centrally for Georgia sometimes than he does for Napoli, but he's causing problems out wide here for Czechia, and he's got another corner to take from this near side for Georgia left. 41st minute here on TalkSport. Georgia 0, Czechia 0 at Euro 2024. And it's a poor corner. We've given Kvaratskhelia the big build-up, and he plonks it straight into the gloves of the goalkeeper Staněk, who hits it long and quickly, looking for Černý, and Černý denied by Kucherashvili just at the final moment.
It's great when they come off nearly, isn't it? Them sidewinders right down the pitch from the keeper.
Long ball here by Georgia, found Mikotadze, and he's been forced out of play really by Krejci. Krejci wants that to be a goal kick, and it will be, and Ladislav Krejci smelt the danger there and dealt with it very well indeed.
Yeah, I think he may have got that right there, Free. You can see that it looked like it might have been a corner, but you can tell by a player's reaction a lot of the time when the referee gives it, there's no complaint, so he suggests that he was right.
Let's say Daniel Zebek might not be on your Christmas card list this year. Here's Holeš coming forward now for Czechia, the big centre-back, and Provod turning away from Mikotadze. A bit quiet Mikotadze so far, and then a long ball into the Georgian penalty area, which is claimed by the leaping Mamardashvili. He's done his reputation absolutely no harm in this first half. Short sleeves, and there is a real aura about him.
Yeah, I like him. He's come a long way for that as well. He's really claimed it just on the I think as he jumped high in the air and landed, his 2 feet were really close to the edge of the 18-yard box. It's great when a keeper comes and does that, as a defender.
The assistant on the far side has actually given a free kick here for Georgia down there right-hand side was Krejci, who just bumped Davitashvili into the advertising hoardings, completely unnecessary. That was quite a nasty bang for Davitashvili, who was just gingerly walking back onto the pitch. Maybe a bit of frustration there from Vladislav Krejci. It was those two who clashed in the penalty shout for Georgia. Krejci struggling to keep up with Davitashvili on that occasion, and his needless intervention here, Krejci, has led to a free kick just in field from the far touchline, the Georgian right, and an opportunity to cross into the penalty area. We're in the 44th minute of this first half on TalkSport. Georgia 0, Czechia 0 at Euro 2024. What can they come up with here, Georgia? Louis Samuel on the edge of his technical area, the Georgia coach. His ice white t-shirt and dark jacket, willing his team on. Sitashvili's curling ball in wasn't the best. It was easily headed clear by Patrick Schick. His aerial ability as a centre forward so useful in those defensive situations. And Georgia win a throw on the far side of the right.
Well, very good spell, Kevin. You know, I think we said that they were trying to take the sting out of the game 10 minutes ago, and they've had the last 8 to 10 minutes. I think their possession has been really good, Georgia, and they're looking more in control of what's happening around them now than they were, the previous 10.
Kakabadze to take the throw down the far side for Georgia. It looked like a clumsy challenge there by Krejci, and yes, the referee is going to give a free kick. Niko Tadze trying to spin away from Krejci, and he just lent at him and sent him to the turf. Free kick.
Yeah, definite foul. But these are all in areas that it's very difficult to get delivery in. They're not in and around the edge of the penalty area. This one is probably better than the last 2 or 3 that they've had. And he's taking it a little bit wide where the referee is now. So possibly more of an opportunity here to whip one in behind the last defender and hope that you've got a runner in there.
Kvaratskhelia just ran across to the right wing and said, "I'm taking this." Moved everybody away.
Still not an easy delivery though.
He wants the responsibility. We're into stoppage time, the first of 2 additional minutes at the end of this first half. A goalless first half so far, but certainly not one without incident. And Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, the star man, to take the free kick. Good shape on it, and it's bouncing around, and it's come loose, and it's the captain, Kashir, who has the shot saved by Staniek. What an opportunity for Georgia, and with the goal gaping, he hit it straight at Staniek.
Well, it was a centre-half shot. Look, the ball fell for him so nicely. Everybody's on side. It ricochets. All of a sudden, he's got a ball 7 yards out, if that. And now he's got to take the shot. It's in between his feet a little bit here, Kevin, but he can't dig it out. He can't dig it out, and the keeper makes a good save.
Now, Daniel Siebert is just waiting to hear from the VAR team. There is a potential penalty check here. Now, I wonder, was there a handball in there? They're looking at Hranac, the number 4, and whether there was a handball. Tomáš Souček just speaking to the referee, and Daniel Siebert's been told to go across to the monitor and have a look at this, and this could be a nervy time for Czechia right at the end of the half.
Usually it's telling the referee that he's missed something.
He's clearly handballed it, Hranac, but they've got to decide. I think that's going to be a penalty. It's his right arm that's out at right angles. It's a penalty, and Hranac, who scored an own goal in the first game against Portugal, has now had another calamity because he's given away a penalty for handball right at the end of the half. And what an opportunity here for Georgia.
I think it's really harsh. Yeah, I think if anything he's trying to get his arm away from it. I think now defenders are going to have to start playing with braces with their arms behind their back, but I think he's really unfortunate. If this had been given against England, that would have been raging.
It's been a really hard tournament so far for Hranac. He's been one of the best players in the Czech league. Plays for Victoria Plzeňa. And all of the misfortune seems to be happening to him. But what an opportunity.
What a game. Oh, it's a great game again. I know it's 0-0, but we've got this happening right at the end of the half. It hasn't been boring for a moment. It's been a really good game.
George Mikotadze has already scored in this tournament. Scored against Turkey So he's made history with Georgia's first ever goal in a major tournament. Can he score their second at a major tournament? 12 yards between him and glory. It is Staniek who stands in his way. What a moment for Georgia, and what a moment in this group. The timing could prove very, very significant. Georgia with the chance to strike a blow, but Mikotadze having to wait a long, long time to take this spot kick. There are prayers being offered by Georgian fans. Mikotadze! Beautifully done! Sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, and Georgia have the advantage just before half-time. His second goal of Euro 2024. It's Georgia 1, Czechia 0.
Perfect penalty. All the pressure, a nation watching him, and he was cool as a cucumber. Fantastic.
Mikotadze, who was relegated this season in domestic football with Metz, but still scored 14 goals in a struggling side. Well, the glory is his. He's already written his name into Georgian football folklore, and he has just written another chapter for himself with that beautifully taken penalty. And Georgia are set for a half-time lead in Hamburg. He was the coolest man in the Volkspark Stadion, and Czechia are stunned.
Doesn't it set the game up brilliantly though? It certainly does. And, you know, if you wanted to see maybe as a neutral a team score first, Georgia would have been my choice, because now Czechia have to really come at them, and they've got the ability to do that.
Well, here comes Czechia, and Schick with the shot. Brilliant save by Mamardashvili. Patrick Schick wriggled his way into a shooting position. Left foot effort low to the goalkeeper's right, and a really strong hand from Mamardashvili. It's a corner.
Now and again the stars align on goalkeepers in big games, in big tournaments, and that's what this keeper looks like.
Czech need to take this corner. It'll be an outswinger left-footed towards the near post. Strong header away by Kvekfalia. Here they come again. Czechia. Czerny works it infield to Provod. Low ball into the Georgian penalty area, swept away. We're in the 6th minute of stoppage time at the end of the half, but of course we had the long wait for the penalty to be awarded and then the penalty to be taken. And Daniel Siebert points to the halfway line, and it is the end of this first period. And what drama. Czechia have had a series of chances. They've had the ball in the net, but the goal was ruled out for handball. The decision given against Adam Plojek, and then right at the end of the half, George Mikotadze's penalty has given us a half-time score of Georgia 1, Czechia 0. Thanks, Adrian. Well, don't you just love football? The first half statistics: Czechia with 13 shots to Georgia's 2. Czechia had 8 efforts on target. Georgia scored with the only one they had, and Czechia's expected goals figure 1.73 to Georgia's 0.8. And yet the scoreline is Georgia with a 1-0 lead. Now Georgia by nature are a counter-attacking team. Former England defender Alvin Martin alongside me. There's no reason for Georgia to change that.
No, they'll play exactly the same way. Won't take unnecessary risks, but when the opportunities arise and they get good possession in good areas, they will commit forward, and I've got no doubts about that whatsoever. That's what makes it a mouth-watering prospect for the next 45 minutes. I think we'll see a tactical and technical game, and with the stakes being so high as well, Kevin, brilliant to watch.
No personnel changes at half-time, so it'll be the same 22 players that started the first half that start the second. Daniel Siebert ready to get us back underway. Georgia have never previously qualified for a major tournament finals. This is their first appearance at the big dance, and they are enjoying themselves. And as this second half gets underway, they lead Czechia against all expectation and against the odds by a 1-0. George Mikotadze with a penalty on the stroke of half-time. Czechia all in white, playing from right to left in this second period. Georgia attacking the goal away to our right in their red shirts and black shorts and socks. Give the two lineups in just a moment, but Czechia have won themselves a throw on the right hand side, the far side as we look at it. Sofal will take it, he'll launch another one into the box. It's flicked on by Souček, but there's nobody coming in a white shirt behind him, and now the goal scorer Miko Tadze can bring it clear, and he's blocked off and goes down. And while he rolls around in agony, I can give you the two teams. I'll start with Georgia. Georgi Mamadashvili in goal, Solomon Kvekvelia, Huram Kasia and Lasha Diwali, the back three. Midfield four, Otto Kakabadze, or five rather, Otto Kakabadze, Georgi Kocharashvili, Anzor Mekvadishvili, Zuriko Davitashvili and Georgi Sitaishvili. And the front two, George Mikotadze and Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. It was Jurasek, by the way, who clashed with Mikotadze, who I think he's going to be given a yellow card, Jurasek. The Czechia lineup, Jindřich Staniek in goal, Tomáš Holeš, Robin Hranac and Ladislav Krejci, the back three. David Jurasek, who has been booked, Tomáš Souček, Lukáš Provod and Vladimir Sofal in midfield, and the front three of Adam Hložek, Patrick Schick and Václav Černý. Was that, Alvin Martin, another harsh yellow card?
Yes, it was. It was certainly a foul, booking, but again, it's an example of the referee wanting to get over-involved in the game, so they're letting the game take its course. I think it's been a great game. Doesn't need a referee. Be better without a referee.
Referee Daniel Ziebert, not particularly popular, I think, either on the field or off it at the moment. But it's difficult. In the heat of battle, we do forget, of course, that referees get nervous as well. He is a well-respected official, Daniel Ziebert, in the German Bundesliga. He's been international referee for a long time, but he has given out a few cheap bookings. Here is Kvaratskhelia for Georgia, moving in off the left touchline, works it out to Sitaishvili, dangerous cross, brilliantly hooked away by Krejci, who's had a tough afternoon, but that was his best moment so far. Here's Kocharashvili down the far side, the Georgian left. He turns out, knocks it back to Sitaishvili, and they've worked it again down that far side, and it's driven in towards the near post, too close to the goalkeeper. I think Sitaishvili is a bit annoyed with himself, but he allowed Staniek to claim that cross.
Good build-up play, those, and a lovely little 1-2s around the edge of the box, making himself half a yard. Once he got that half of the yard, quality delivery into the box. So there's no doubt about it. He knew they would. They're 1-0 up, but not settling for 1-0. They're going to look at adding to this scoreline.
Here's Davitashvili, one of the more impressive players actually for Georgia in the first half. The only change to the team that started that defeat against Turkey.
Everyone in the red shirt, though, Kevin, they're all technically proficient, aren't they? All happy collecting the ball from the back to the front. They've got a strategy. They don't boom it long. As I've said that, now the people will play it long. But they pass through the areas, and when they get into the final third, there's a lovely fluency to their play.
There's a bravery about what they do as well. Here is Schick with a rather long layoff to halfway. Provod now picks it up in midfield for Czechia. Provod, who scored that brilliant goal against Portugal in the opening game, which looked for a long time as though it would get them at least a point. But here they are behind the 8 ball. They've lost the first game and they're in danger of losing the second. 4 minutes gone in the second half here on TalkSport. Georgia 1, Czechia 0. George Mikotadze's penalty on the stroke of half-time, the difference at the moment. Here's Holeš for Czechia. Slides it out to the far touchline, and Černý coming on his favoured left foot, and he just sends that way over the head of Jurasek, and that's the kind of moment that they have to do better in.
Yeah, they've got to be careful here, Cheshire, because I think the little bit of frustration can start to creep in, impatience. You mix them two things up, and it's the wrong road to go down. So they've got to be patient. They've got to be strategic in how they're going to get back in this game, and that means being pragmatic in a lot of ways. They will have better possession, but I think when they get the ball, certainly on the right hand side with Sofal, long throws, free kicks, it is just making sure that you get that delivery absolutely spot on, because that's the one part of their game that hasn't been good enough today.
We haven't mentioned the captain Souček much either. We haven't seen his trademark runs into the penalty area, or certainly to no great effect. as Georgia just banged the ball clear. On the flip side of that though, Alvin, while Czechia mustn't panic, Georgia mustn't allow it to become one way and drop too deep.
Yeah, there's no signs of that. Even as we're speaking there, Kevin, I was watching, they got the ball at the back there, Czechia, and you think, okay, well then it's a back line that is not sitting on the edge of the penalty area. At times they'll be forced back into that area, but they're not going to start off there. And whenever they play the ball forward and then come back out, you can see that back line is moving as well.
Holesh with the cross from the right-hand side. It was in towards Patrick Schick. He just heads it up in the air, and then Mamardashvili able to come and claim it. Good positive goalkeeping yet again from Georgia's star goalkeeper, ever present in the qualification campaign. They did struggle a bit in the qualifying group against more established nations. They lost 7-1 and 3-1 to Spain. They were beaten 2-0 by Scotland at Hampden Park. They lost 2-1 in Norway. Some of the performances were better than the results, but here they are on the big stage. Here is Davitashvili, lays it off to the edge of the area for Nekvabishvili. Now Kocherashvili works it to the right-hand side, and Kakabadze, but then they overplay it and it goes out for a throw to Czechia, and Czechia trying to get on with it. Czechia on the stats dominated the first half, but on the scoreline they are a goal down. And here's Kasia, the captain of Georgia, midway inside his own half for Georgia, but they've lost it. And here's Souček for Czechia, plays it down the inside left channel to find Hložek. Now Provod on this near side, the Czechia left as we look at it. Infield to the tall Souček, out to Jurasek. He'll try and get it onto his left foot, will he? Well, that was too obvious, and he was dispossessed by Kakabadze. And Georgia able to somehow squeeze their way through the pressure. And here is Kvaratskhelia. Every time he gets it, there is a hubbub of noise, and he's been brought down, and now it's Holesh who's booked, and we are in serious danger here of not finishing the game 11 against 11. It's another yellow card, but that one maybe was a bit more warranted.
Yeah, because I think it wasn't so much the foul itself. It was the fact that he was in a position where he could have got away and there was danger. So it was more of a professional foul. So I'll give him that one, Kevin. I don't know about the other 5.
He's winning you over. Piece by piece. 53 on the watch. Georgia 1, Czechia 0. First of 3 live commentaries on TalkSport. Turkey against Portugal at 5, and then Belgium against Romania at 8. We're going to have a double change here for Czechia. Ivan Hašek has seen enough. He wants to change the dynamic here. Souček with a flicked header, easily cleared by Kasia, who's been the glue that has held that Georgian defence together for so long. And then Kvaratskhelia with a foul on Holesh, and he, like a naughty school kid, just slunk away, trying not to catch the eye of the referee. No yellow card, it was a free kick, but nothing more than that. And here is Holesh finding Robin Fanac. You've got a feel for him. Own goal in the first group game in defeat to Portugal. The ball came off him for the winning goal from Conceição, and then gives away the penalty for handball just before half-time. And that's why Georgia have a 1-0 lead here against Czechia. Forward by Provod, finding Černý, right edge of the penalty area, cuts it back, and Souček shovels the shot over the top. Came onto it at speed, Tomáš Souček, and got right underneath it, but it was offside against Černý before it came to Souček.
Well, you see there, they're getting many people into the box. That was always difficult. And again, credit to Georgia. I've talked about, their breakaways and their support to the front and how adventurous they are. But they've defended for their lives today. They really have. They've got back in numbers. They've made great challenges when they've had to, thrown their body in the way of balls. And that was another example of that. So they're a well-coached side, a really well-coached side. They know what they're doing defensively, but they also know how to turn that transition from defence into attack really well.
A couple of changes then for Czechia, and they are 2 wingers who've come off, or wide forwards really, Václav Černý and Adam Hložek, who were brought into the starting lineup today. They've gone off and been replaced by Ondřej Linga, who played on loan at Feyenoord this season in the Netherlands, and Matej Jurasek, who's only 20, he plays for Slavia Prague. Scored his only international goal against Malta in June. It's only his third cap. So a chance for Jurasek to shine. So we have two Juraseks now as Provod goes down in the Georgian right-back zone. Referee takes a look and is unmoved. And here go Georgia on the charge. Miko Tadze. It's a 3-on-2 here. Czechia trying to get back. Referee says the challenge was fine from Krejci. And now Czechia could rebuild, but that is the danger on the counter.
Well, it was a 3 versus 3 there, Kevin. He just had to release it a split second earlier. Once he didn't, the chance was gone, but certainly a dangerous game now there for Czechia.
Jurasek with the curling ball into the area, and the angle was getting tighter and tighter all the time, and Linga has won a corner, but nothing more than that. But Czechia are trying to build momentum. 56 gone on TalkSport. Georgia 1, Czechia 0.
Well, we haven't been disappointed. We said that the second half was beautifully set up after Georgia getting that a penalty and scoring it in the first half. This is a game now, really. It's going to be full of surprises.
Sofal's corner, high, hanging delivery. The heads go up, away by Kasia. David Jurasek with the effort. I don't think it was going in, it was creeping wide, but Georgia have won it, and they hit on the counter. Kvaratskhelia, 3-on-2, options left and right, slides it to his left, big chance here, and it's put wide of the target by Mikvabishvili. Came in on his right foot, had the goal gaping. He was trying to find the far corner, and he missed it by a matter of inches. And that is a big chance that has slid by for Georgia.
Wow, 3 versus 2 it was. Kvaratskhelia does the right thing. He's bearing down. He's round with it 30 yards. He's near the edge of the box. He plays it to his left. Perfect ball, but it couldn't be finished. It was a wonderful move, though.
Big chance for Georgia, and you get the sense they'll get more the more desperate Czechia become and the more they roll the dice. Ball's played to Krejci, who's getting forwards. They might even have pushed him into midfield, actually. I'll get Alvin's thoughts on that in a moment. Of course, they do have a back three usually, but it does look as though Krejci's pushed forwards. Bit of space here for Franac, should he played it to his right, and the cross is blocked behind for a corner, and this is serious pressure now being applied by Czechia, but Georgia won't mind that. They've been soaking up pressure all the way through. It's another corner. 58 minutes gone, Georgia 1, Czechia 0. Here's the corner from Sofal, another good delivery, and the header's off the post, and it is smuggled in. Patrick Schick wheels away in delight, and Czechia have their leveller. Brilliant delivery from the corner. The initial header hit the post, and Schick was there just where he needed to be, and it's 1-1.
Well, it's a scruffy goal. That won't matter. Czechia. Another delivery in. We said this is where they were going to get their chances, surely from set-piece deliveries. It's more or less come back and hit him on the chest. He couldn't do anything but score there. Some massive slide of good fortune. Look, Georgia have got nobody on the posts, and maybe they'll regret that in hindsight.
It was Linga's header originally, came off the post, and Patrick Schick couldn't miss. Off his chest and in. He was the Golden Boot winner in Euro 2020, and he now has his first goal of Euro 2024, and Czechia are level. The pressure has told, and Georgia have cracked, and here comes Czechia again down the right hand side. A desperate challenge from Nekvabishvili, and that's going to be a throw on that far side, the right for Czechia. It was Mate Jurasek who went down, but Czechia have built momentum in the last few minutes.
And there wasn't a sign of panic in them, was there? You know, they looked like they're okay. We're chilled, plenty of time. One goal can change the whole dynamic of the game, and you can see now it's turned emotionally in favour of Czechia.
How a game can change. Makvabishvili's effort went wide of the target, of course, just moments before Czechia equalised. Now Czechia with a long throw from the right. Sofal into the box, headed away by Kvekvelia. Chipped back in there by David Jurasek, but there was nobody coming in on the far post. Here's Sofal though, right edge of the penalty area, trying to force the ball across. It's another corner. Czechia returning the screw, and Georgia can cannot get out.
It's all hands on deck now. You've just got to get through this next 5 minutes, settle down again. They've done it before in the first half. They've got to do it again now, Georgia.
It is relentless pressure, set piece after set piece. And it'll be Sofal to take. Can they do it again? Sofal does have a short option if he wants it. He's just waiting for the go-ahead to take this corner. I'm not quite sure what the delay is here. Daniel Ziebert, the referee, is being spoken to. There is a potential penalty check and it's over already. Here comes the corner. It's another good one and a free header for Krejci, and he's put it wide. He was all alone, 8 yards out, and he puts it wide of the far post.
Well, it's a free header, Kevin, and at this level, that's got to be on target. It's a free header. He's not even past the near post, so he's middle of the goal, and it's glanced off the left side of his head and gone wide of the mark. He's got to be doing better there.
Somebody who does play in midfield as well as defence, Ladislav Krejci, already the captain at Sparta Prague. And he had an opportunity there to score what would have been his 4th international goal in only his 12th cap. Sitashvili has been withdrawn by Georgia, the left wing back, and it is Luka Lochoshvili who's come on for him. And they've also taken off Davitashvili, who was brought into the team today, and the man he replaced in the starting lineup, Georgi Chakvetadze, has now been brought back on. So double change there. Lochoshvili on for Sitashvili, and Chakvetadze has come on for Davitashvili. Can Georgia regain their composure? Have the lead at half-time, but Patrick Schick, with his 20th international goal in only his 40th cap, has managed to drag Czechia level. He missed a big chunk of the season actually, Schick, with an adductor muscle problem. He was out for the best part of a year, and he wasn't a regular first choice when he came back because the likes of Victor Boniface were scoring goals for Leverkusen. But there's an argument to say he'll be a bit fresher for this tournament. Here comes Czechia down the right, edge of the area. The substitute Matej Jurasek, who's gone out to that right-hand side. Sofal's curling cross. Was that a push? No, it wasn't, says the referee. Kakabadze was the one who was accused. Now it comes down the right for Czechia, and that goes out of play. You're listening to Euro Game Day Live on TalkSport, presented by Burger King. Bring home the ultimate food satisfaction. Get your favourites delivered now. Goal kick for Georgia. 64th minute here on TalkSport. Georgia 1, Czechia 1. Coming up on TalkSport, Turkey against Portugal. 5 o'clock kickoff with Adam Bridge and the former England striker Dean Ashton. And at 8 we've got Belgium against Romania with Nigel Adderley and the former Chelsea defender Scott Minto. Every kick, every shot, every tackle, every goal, every twist, every turn coming your way on the TalkSport network. Here's Provod for Czechia, who have been revitalised and reinvigorated in this second half. And it's Provod inside left channel, midway inside the Georgian half, but he's lost it. Georgia now will look to break with Kvaratskhelia, but he lost it almost instantly. Just holds his right leg, and now Czechia tried to feed it down the inside right channel for Linga. He can't bring it under his spell, but it goes through to the goalkeeper. And Alvin Martin, you look at the changes that Ivan Hasek made for Czechia. Linga making an almost instant impact with the header that came off the post, and Schick scored the rebound.
Yeah, they've certainly settled down at level terms again, and certainly look like they're trying to bully Georgia. You know, physically they're bigger and stronger, aren't they? And they're trying to make that pay.
Incidentally, the goal scorer Schick has had 7 goal attempts this afternoon. That is the most by any player in a game at Euro 2024 so far. And Czechia finally scored with their 9th shot on target.
We're watching the replay of it, and Kevin, for once, you would have scored that.
I'd have found a way, Alvin. I'd have found a way to miss it, I'm sure. You definitely would have scored it. Unless your defensive instincts kicked in and you hacked it off the line. Here comes Czechia down the inside right channel. Bit of space opening up. It's a forceful run, and the left foot shot is pushed away. Mate Jurasek, who had it, it was dipping, and Mamadashvili watched it onto his gloves and pushed the ball away to safety. But they are raining shots down on the Georgian goal, and Mamadashvili has been exceptional today.
Yeah, I think it bounces just in front of him as well. Actually, no, he doesn't. He takes it with his right hand. Maybe he made more of that than he should have, but he's certainly big, isn't he? And I think anything low down like that, for, somebody who's 6'4", 6'5", makes it more difficult.
Long ball by Georgia here to Kvaratskhelia into the penalty area, twisting, turning, but he'll have to settle for a corner. It was two players for company, and actually I don't know if he's going to get that corner. He felt it should have been. It was Ramac who was alongside him. Hollish was there too.
Well, was it corner?
I felt it was. Kvaratskhelia felt it was, but the referee, Daniel Ziebert, said it wasn't. Here comes Sofal for Czechia, 5 yards inside the Georgian half. This has been captivating stuff in Hamburg. Hope you're enjoying every moment with us here on the TalkSport network. Kevin Hatchard alongside the former England defender Alvin Martin for this one. Patrick Schick is just down holding his right leg at the moment. Myself and Alvin will be together again tomorrow night for Switzerland against the hosts Germany on TalkSport 2. Over on TalkSport you'll hear Scotland against Hungary. Scotland must win to have a chance of progressing to the last 16. Can they escape a group stage for the first time ever? Joe Shannon and the former Scotland striker Chris Owellamo, the commentary team for that one. Now, this might be the end of the game for Patrick Schick. He's moving really gingerly. They don't want to take any risks, and it looks as though Moimir Hitil is getting ready to come on. And that's a real blow for Czechia.
Yeah, it is, and he's immediately he made that motion of Souček went over there, made the motion of rolling his arms together, saying that we need to get him off. So he knew he was in trouble straight away.
I think with anyone who's had as many muscle injuries as he's had in the last couple of years, you don't want to take any risks at all. So Schick, the goal scorer, makes way, and Moimir Hitil, who scored a hat-trick on his debut, admittedly against the Faroe Islands, comes on. He's got 6 goals in his Czechia career. That hat-trick against the Faroes, by the way, was inside the first 23 minutes, and he's been scoring at club level as well. 21 goals for Slavia Prague this season. So Patrick Schick, the star striker, makes way for a guy who could be a pretty good deputy. 69th minute in Hamburg, and it's all on the line. Georgia 1, Czechia 1. A win for either would mean so much. A defeat could spell the end of the competition by the end of today, depending on what happens in our second live commentary of the day, Turkey against Portugal. Bit of space here for David Jurasek on the left-hand side. He's hugged that left touchline all afternoon, and he finds Krejci in midfield, and he works it forward now to Provod. Provod infield to find Linger, back out to Provod, the number 14, turns away from trouble, and Czechia just trying to tease their way through. They found Sofal, who's popped up in the inside left channel, and he overran it, and he's had it knocked away from him by Kvaratskhelia, but it's won back by Krejci, and the cross is plucked away from Hitil by Mamadashvili. He caught it cleanly in the end. And I can tell you Patrick Schick, by the way, is being taped up already on the bench, and that suggests that they are a bit concerned.
Yeah, I think if it is a muscle as well, they'd always worry, because they take a minimum, I would have thought 10 days or 2 weeks, and tournament football obviously puts pace to your tournament, but let's hope from their point of view it's not.
Here's Chakvetadze, the Watford man, the number 10, and actually put in a real shift against Turkey. One would suggest it was energy levels that maybe led to him being benched for today, but he's fresh now. Here's Kvaratskhelia down the left, works it further to the left-hand side, and the cross is blocked. It was the substitute Lochoshvili who was trying to make something happen. He's moved out to that left wing-back role, replacing Zitashvili.
There's still an energy to their play, isn't there, Kevin? They're moving the ball around. They've had to defend large proportions of the game, but there's still an energy and a variety to their attacks and movements, and you know they do commit people forward even at this late stage. You know, they're not going to sit back, and you thought they might have shown signs of tiredness. I honestly can't see any.
A few jeers from the Czechia fans there because Kvaratskhelia tried a very ambitious shot from long range. He got right underneath it. I think that ball is still coming down. Czechia have had 19 goal attempts. Georgia have had 3. Georgia have scored with their only shot on target. That penalty from George Mikotadze on the stroke of half-time. It remains Georgia 1, Czechia 1. Patrick Schick's equaliser, potentially keeping Czechia's Euro 2024 alive, but they want more than that. They have a rich history in this competition. It's their 11th appearance at the finals, including their time as Czechoslovakia. They were winners in 1976, beaten finalists in 1996, semi-finalists in 2004. Long-range effort here is a really poor one from Krejci. He's lucky that it took a flick on the way through because it was a rather abject attempt, and it will be a corner to Czechia.
Yeah, super ambitious that. But you know, you mentioned about the record, the experience that Czechia have got, and I think that's their biggest weapon now. You know, they've been here before, they know what it takes.
It'll be Sofal to take the corner, curling ball in, headed away by Kasia. Drops here to David Jurasek, right foot shot, and cuts across it, and the ball sails wide and high of the target. 72nd minute in Hamburg, and it is Georgia 1, Czechia 1 here on TalkSport. Can one of these teams grab what would be a precious winner in these closing stages? Georgia, of course, losing their first ever game at a major tournament, 3-1 to Turkey. They dealt manfully with the pressure. Can they deal with the pressure here? Plenty of company when it comes to teams who failed to win their first game at a major tournament. Only one of the last 10 European sides to make their debut won their first match. That was Finland back at Euro 2020. The last debutant to progress from the group stage at a Euro was Iceland in 2016. Of course, they went on to knock out England. Sorry to mention that, but I had to. Here is Souček. Alvin staring daggers at me here. Here is Holeš. I'm going to say that, I'm an England fan, I don't know why I mentioned it in the first place. Here's Matej Jurasek, tight to the right touchline. He's pressured by Lochosvili, but he manages to keep it. Czechia with the ball in the centre circle here. Krejci, inside left channel, getting forwards, swings it out to the right hand side. It's a lovely ball to find Matej Jurasek. He'll take on Lochosvili onto his left foot, curling cross. That's headed away by Diwali at the near post, the left-sided centre-back for Georgia. Lovely flick on that right-hand side, but then the attack breaks down. It was a nice little interchange between Matej Jurasek and indeed Sofal, but the ball goes out. But they are looking very dangerous, Alvin Martin.
Yeah, they are, and they're dominating. I think the attacking threat, the counter-attacking threat of Georgia just has diminished to probably the lowest it's been throughout the game. Well, coming up to 73, 74 minutes, you can understand why.
Mamardashvili with the long clearance set to the right-hand side, the Georgian right, and the ball bounces into play for a throw-in. These two will be starting to feel the heat here, really starting to feel the pressure. Tired legs, tired minds. Who can find a way? Of course, a point might set them up for their final game. 4 points is offered enough to get through. Remember, it's the top 2 from each group and the 4 best third place teams that make it through to the last 16. But I can't imagine either team will settle for a point necessarily. You've got to bear in mind Georgia got to face Portugal next, and that is not a game they would be remotely expected to win. But they have sprung a few surprises already. Here is David Jurasek for an increasingly confident Czechia. Ondrej Linga now finds Souček, captain. He curls it out to Sofal, his West Ham teammate. Low ball into the box. That was excellent defending and needed to be from Nekvadishvili. Managed to swing that ball away. Here come Czechia again. Dangerous ball in. Headed up into the air by Kvaratskhelia. Did Mamardashvili keep it in? He did. And Solomon Kvaratskhelia actually did really well to just guide that ball up into the air for his goalkeeper.
I've lost count of how many times the ball's been delivered into the Georgia penalty area by wide men, especially Soufal. If he's not thrown it in there, he's passing it in there. He must have had 20 passes or 20, including his throws, sure. But they will look back if it stays at 1-1 at that starting thing, and we should have made more of that. The amount of possession that we had, good possession in wide areas, and we haven't found that little bit of quality. Just looking at it from Georgia's point of view, just watching him there, Kvaratskhelia, and he's just holding his left thigh behind his left thigh, and he would be a massive loss because he just made a challenge on Soufal on the edge of his own penalty area a few minutes back, and I think that just sums up the way he approaches the game for Georgia.
He's had a couple of wasteful moments in the last few minutes. He had one shot that was miles over the top. He's just had a cross that's sailed out of play as well. Here is David Jurasek down the left for Czechia. Dangerous ball in, and the flicked header goes wide of the target from Hitil. It was a tough chance, but it was a chance. It's a goal kick for Georgia.
Well, that was quality delivery. He had to come across the first, the near post really. Once he's across the near post, it makes it doubly difficult to get the direction on the ball. He nearly does it though, makes a good job of it.
Wojciech Hitil with an opportunity, and Mamardashvili was delighted to see that ball bounce wide of the far post. 77th minute, Georgia 1, Czechia 1. Both sets of fans trying to do their bit, but you get the sense that the Czechia fans really believe that this is on. Czechia were a goal down at half-time thanks to George Mikotadze's penalty. Patrick Schick with a close-range equaliser. And Czechia have threatened since then. And it bounces through for Linga. Edge of the area, right foot shot. That's saved by Mamardashvili. Here's Mate Jurasek, right edge of the penalty area. Back for Soufal. Lifts it to the far post, and it's headed behind by Kakabadze. And the heat is really on Georgia now. It's a Czechia corner.
Well, I don't know how many saves he's made, Mamardashvili. He's made a lot of them. He's certainly having a good game, isn't he?
Corner short, Linga with the cross in. Mamardashvili did brilliantly to punch it away because he had so much traffic in front of him. It's a lovely delivery into the box. Here's Provod down the right touchline, close to the corner flag. He's got Mate Jurasek for company, but he's being trapped by Chakvatadze, so he has to come out. And he has to find Holesh. Holesh with the left-footed ball into the penalty area. It's loose and just about smuggled away by Kocharashvili. And here come Georgia on the counter. This is how they'll try and hurt them, but it was a really poor ball out to Kvaratskhelia. He did his level best to keep it in, but it bounced away from him, and that's going to be a throw. You are listening to Euro Game Day live on TalkSport, presented by Carling, the UK's #1 lager, 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. 79th minute, Georgia 1, Czechia 1 on TalkSport. Long ball out towards the Czechia right. And a long-range effort that was really ill-advised from Mate Jurasek. Trying to suggest that was the effort of a 20-year-old who doesn't have a huge amount of international experience. It was wasteful, and it will be a goal kick. We're going to get a double change here for Czechia. Ivan Hasek rolling the dice. He's going to bring on two midfielders. Antonín Barak is going to come on. And we're also going to see Shevchik as well. And that makes sense, doesn't it, Alvin? Fresh legs here.
Yeah, I think they've got to force. They've got to force the issue here, Kevin. I think they've tried and they've dominated possession. Still can't find a way through, and I think they've come up against the keeper as well, haven't they? And Mamardashvili he's been inspirational really for a large part of this game.
Here come Georgia though before these changes can be made. Chakvatadze inside right channel, works it in field to Kvaratskhelia, giving away though. Lochashvili trying to advance down the left. Kvaratskhelia again as they try and calm it down a bit. Georgia, it's all been a bit chaotic and ragged, draining for them. They want to draw Czechia onto them and try and hit them on the counter. And a free kick is given here, and a yellow card for Souček. yet another booking. That is the 5th yellow card for Czechia. Went in on Kvaratskhelia. It seemed to me they both went for the ball.
Again, it's not a yellow card. I think I can agree with one of the yellow cards that's been dished out. Crazy.
So Antonín Barak and Petr Ševčík both come on, and the two players who've come off are Lukáš Provod, who was on a yellow card already, and he's also taken off David Jurasek, so that might require a bit of reorganisation on that left-hand side, and Georgia are making changes as well. The referee's got yellow card in his hand again here.
Is that for somebody that came on the pitch? I think he came on the pitch and he wasn't given permission, so he's got another yellow card.
So Georgi
referee.
Kvelesiani has picked up a booking before even coming on, and Kvaratskhelia, and you did say you thought he was struggling a bit, he comes off, and Saba Lobjanidze is his replacement. Kvaratskhelia did pull up in the warm-up and was struggling a bit, and he's managed nearly 82 minutes of action, but he goes off. They'll be a bit concerned about him, and the other player to go off is Solomon Kvekvelia. So it is Georgi Kvelesiani, 33-year-old, who's come on, and the other player who has been brought in is taken off Kvaratskhelia, Saba Lobjanidze, who plays his football in MLS for Atlanta United. He comes on. Double change for Georgia. Cross from the left-hand side, and that's hooked away. Referee has been rather officious today, it has to be said.
Here we go again.
It's going to be another yellow card here. This is Mekvabishvili.
This is getting ridiculous now.
If we end up with 11 against 11 by the end of this, I'll be amazed the way it's gone. It's Mekvabishvili who's just dived in. It wasn't the best of challenges.
No, I can make a case for that one. I can actually make a case, but how many? I mean, I've lost count. I need some more ink in my biro here. All these B's by people's names.
I'll make it 3 on one side, and we've had 5 on the other. It hasn't felt like an 8-booking game, if I'm honest. 83 on the watch. Georgia 1, Czechia 1. It's been a bit ragged, bit chaotic, bitty in the last few minutes. We've had fair few substitutions, fair few changes. Can one of these teams find the clarity and the bravery and the composure to go on and win it? Here's Petr Ševčík. He was a late caller. Ball played through towards the edge of the Georgian penalty area. Player went down, referee doesn't give anything. Sofal's cross away by Kvelesiani. Souček now, high ball into the box. And it'll be cleared by Kočarashvili. And then Dvali just tries to put his foot through it. Czechia building momentum here through the middle. And then given away by Matej Jurasek, who's come across this left-hand side to cover his namesake David Jurasek. That's the reorganisation that they've done. 6 minutes of normal time to go. It's up for grabs in Hamburg. Georgia 1, Czechia 1. A win would mean so much for either team. Will Czechia overcommit? And will Georgia catch them on the counter? You've got to think that's the only way Georgia will score. And they are sitting deep at the moment. Souček, inside right channel. Once it goes to Linga. Czechia trying to find their way through. High ball out towards the right-hand side, brought down brilliantly by Sofal. He's had a really good game on that side. He's been constant threat with his set pieces, with his crosses. He's defended well. He's had those long throws. He has been so important to what Czechia have done this afternoon, and he rolls it forward to Souček. Two West Ham players combining. Back to Sofal. Infield to Ševčík. Right corner of the Georgian penalty area, but Georgia get a foot in, and they'll look to bring it clear now. Slid forward towards Lobjanidze and didn't know where the ball was. Here's Krejci for Czechia. Out to Matej Jurasek. take on Kakabadze, he's beaten him. Can he get the cross in? He can to the far post. Nobody was coming in, and it's hooked behind for a corner by Lochashvili. And Georgia under pressure again.
Into the last 5 minutes of normal time, and you can see now Georgia, I think, would be more than happy to take the point. It's Czechia who are really searching for the winner, desperate for the winner.
It'll be a corner from the near side, the left. It'll be Mate Jurasek, the young substitute to take. Plays it short. Barak lays it off to Sofal. Inside left channel, back up the line it goes to Jurasek. Whips it in, and the header is up but not really away. Kasia has to take control, and he does head it out of the penalty area. Now Mate Jurasek again. Goalkeeper struggling to get there. It was a far post delivery, but it goes behind for a goal kick. And Georgia, Alvin Martin could breathe a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to be somebody on the far post. It's the first time Mamardashvili hasn't come for a ball. He's decided to stay on his line, but there wasn't a Czechia player in the vicinity, so from that point of view he got a little bit fortunate there. I mean, the amount of balls that have gone in that box, and to still see it at 1-1, alright, they've got one goal out of it, Kevin, but you would expect really with that sort of domination and delivery to have had at least 2 or 3 goals from him.
The former England defender Alvin Martin alongside Kevin Hatchard for this one. First of 3 games live on TalkSport from Euro 2024. At 5 o'clock, Turkey against Portugal. At 8 o'clock, Belgium against Romania. Tomorrow, Scotland against Hungary. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff. And we'll have live commentary also of Germany, Switzerland. Here is Lobjanidze. Bleach blonde hair. Right edge of the penalty area. His cross is blocked. Can Krejci keep it in? He can't. And that's going to be a rare moment of respite for Georgia. A corner from the right-hand side. Lobjanidze did well.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't had, it's like a respite at the moment for Georgia. They've been in their own penalty area, in and around that, defending for the last 15 minutes. It's been constant pressure.
Another Georgian change, and it will be the goal scorer George Mikotadze who will be replaced, and he'll make way for Georgi Kvilitaya. Mikotadze hasn't really been able to be much of a threat in the second half. He's been living off scraps as Georgia have had to soak up a lot of pressure. So on comes Kvilitaya, who won the Cypriot title with Apoel this season. Here's the corner from the near side, the right, as we look at it. Lobjanidze on the follow-up, but actually a free kick's been given against Georgia, and that's going to be an opportunity for Czechia to just release a bit of that pressure. We're in the 89th minute in Hamburg. Georgia 1, Czechia 1.
Well, I must admit, I think at half-time, where I thought we'd only seen one of the goal, I thought we might have seen more, because it was so end-to-end, wasn't it, in the first half. Elements of that has disappeared now, and it's all Czechia just taking the game to Georgia, and now that they've had the talisman go off, that counter-attack threat isn't there as much.
Nice little turn by Barak, the Fiorentina midfielder who's lost 3 cup finals in 2 seasons. Anthony Barak. A tough time for him. And Georgia now win possession, and Kocherashvili, who never seems to be tired, he is a Duracell bunny in that midfield, and here they come with Kvilitaya, but the ball towards him was poor, and there's just a bit of a element of chaos about Georgia's counter-attacks at the moment, and there shouldn't be really, because they brought on Kvilitaya, they brought on Lobjanidze. The players leading that counter-attack are full of energy, but of course perhaps not with the quality of the players they've replaced. Here's Sofal charging down the right. Now Shevchik lays it off. Socek with the cross. That was volleyed clear by the new man in defence, Velesiani, for Georgia. And now Czechia trying to advance down the right, but the attack breaks down. We've got 30 seconds of normal time remaining. Frustration for Czechia, because since they've got their equaliser, they've not been able to force a winner just yet. If it ends 1-1, it'll be a point apiece, but of course the other 2 teams in the group, Portugal and Turkey, both have 3 points apiece, having beaten these 2 teams in their opening matches. Space here for Barak, 35 yards out for Czechia, inside right channel. Back to Socek, the captain, back to the blonde-haired Barak, and in his left foot, thought about the shot. finds Krejci inside left channel, 25 yards out to Mate Jurasek, 2 for company, plays it to the edge of the box here for Barak. Tall, languid stride, it comes out here to Krejci, left corner of the penalty area, slides it down the line. Jurasek with the cross, and did that come off the defender last? No, it didn't. It bounced back off Jurasek, goes behind for a goal kick. We're into the first of 5 additional minutes at the end of the game. It remains Georgia 1, Czechia 1 on TalkSport.
Again, it was one pass too many for Czechia. You know, you've got to take responsibility on. And again, I think throughout the game, the amount of balls they've gone in there, it can only be down to one, either bad delivery or the wrong runs. People not being aware of making the same run and not giving the man on the ball 2 or 3 options to pick out. And I would suggest that it's the movement rather than the delivery.
Czechia looked the more likely to grab a winner in Hamburg. They were on the wrong end of the stoppage time winner against Portugal. Can they turn the tables here? They might feel that they need to, with a dangerous game against Turkey coming up next. Linger in the inside right channel, back to Ševčík. Plenty of white shirts forward here so far. They're all crashing the box. Great ball in, an attempted overhead kick that didn't connect. And Czechia have it back here with Franac finding Holeš. They're really pushing up here. Ševčík inside right channel, 25 yards out, plays it back to Franac out to the left flank, and Mate Jurasek. He's looked really good and lively since coming on, the 20-year-olds. Now Franac just booms it out to the right hand side, but so far is out jumped, and Kočerašvili plays it forward to Kvilitaja. They've got to try and hold it up here, Georgia, and they haven't. They've lost it, and here comes the attack. Barak on the edge of the Georgian area. Georgia look tired. Out it goes to the right hand side. The cross is overhit massively by Souček. It's collected though by Krejci. He's done a good job here against Kakabadze. Keeps it alive for Czechia, but then the ball from Mate Jurasek is poor, and Georgia should be able to clear. We're in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. 5 allotted at the end of this titanic tussle. Header from Franac finding Jurasek just inside his own half for Czechia, but the ball did just creep out, and Georgia does feel like they would settle for a point.
Absolutely, all day long. I think Souček there, you know, with his delivery, he overhit. There was no pressure on him. The ball was laid out to the right hand side. Whip your foot round it and pick out a wide shirt. But again, it hit aimlessly in there, hopefully in there. And I think that's been a trademark of their performance this afternoon.
Willy Sagnol, the first ever French coach to manage a foreign nation at a European Championship. The Georgia boss played for France at Euro 2004 and Euro 2008. He's on the edge of his technical area. Smart black suit, white t-shirt. Very German outfit for a game in Germany. Here comes Czechia with Barak. Rolls it to Krejci. 25 yards out, inside left channel, forward to Jurasek. Edge of the area, right foot shot. It's a real dribbler. Just bobbles along the surface into the gloves of Georgi Mamardashvili. And if there's one player today who does not deserve to be on the losing side, it is Mamardashvili.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's been a real presence in the goal all afternoon. He's done everything that's been asked of him. No chance whatsoever with the goal. But there's been a lack of ability and guile, hasn't there, for Czechia in and around the edge of the box. Oh, I missed a booking nearly there.
Kočerašvili booked for time wasting, delaying the restart.
But you would have expected, with the possession that they've had, Kevin, to make more. They should have forced. I mean, he's been forced into some good saves, don't get me wrong, but they haven't had gilt-edged chances, have they?
Well, there might be one coming up here. Maybe the final attack from Czechia. Curling ball into the area, stabbed away by Kasia, who's been immense. Here's Mate Jurasek down the left, cross to the far post, and the header is brilliant from the defenders. Comes to Ševčík, edge of the D. They lay it off. The long-range drive from Holeš is blocked, and now Georgia maybe can counter. 3-on-1. Is there an opportunity here? Slip through. Lobjanidze over the top. Oh, what a chance for Georgia. Saba Lobjanidze with only the goalkeeper to beat, and he got underneath it. They had a 3-on-1. Shakvatadze found him, and he is wildly off target. His name was up in lights, and then the lights went out.
Well, it all was going according to plan. They break. It's 3 versus 2, and then 2 versus 1. They do everything perfect to the final ball, but that final ball's going to end up in the back of the net. How on earth he's lifted it over, I don't know.
The game is over. It is history for Georgia. Their first ever points at a major international tournament, but it could and maybe should have been 3. Saba Lobjanidze with a golden opportunity for Georgia right at the end, and he couldn't hit the target. Georgia led at half-time. A penalty from George Mikotadze on the stroke of half-time. Patrick Schick equalised early in the second half. Czechia pushed and pushed, couldn't find a winner, and they nearly lost it. So it is a point apiece. Czechia and Georgia still alive at Euro 2024. It finishes in Hamburg. Georgia 1, Czechia 1.